we kicked him off. We said, George, we've seen enough of your face,
Yeah, we've had enough. There's only so much George you can have.
I'm George Markowski and welcome to the Positive Property Show. Our mission is to empower 10,000 people to create financial freedom through property using the Markowski method. Join us.
Welcome to tonight's session. We have the lovely Belinda Flaherty and
Thank you.
your host, Christina Markowski.
Hello, freedom fighters.
Hey, freedom fighters.
Absolutely.
George couldn't make
Going
it.
live.
So we're the next best thing. But actually, no, we kicked him off. We said, George, we've seen enough of your face,
Yeah, we've had enough. There's only so much George you can have.
There's only so much we can handle. So we said, sisters are doing it for themselves tonight. Woohoo!
Correct. Absolutely.
And we're going to go, sisters are doing
it for themselves.
Woohoo! In property investing.
In property, that's right. Exactly.
Fantastic.
Oh, funny. So have you had a good week?
Absolutely. I've had a very busy week. We've had a lot of amazing new members join the program. It's been really exciting.
We've got some really new members into the team. It's great. Adding to our tribe of amazing members. Awesome.
Amazing freedom fighters. So welcome everyone. If you're new here, what we do is we go live every Thursday, and it'll be usually George and the team, or myself and Belinda. And we have experts on every week, and we do a little live session for you guys. It's a bit of a Q&A time where you can get in and ask us questions. So for those of you who are watching us live, just drop in the chat #live so we know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, type in #replay. It's really good to know. We want to get a bit of a gauge, how many people are making it to the live session and how many people are catching the replay, because there's so much gold in these sessions every Thursday, and we've always got a lesson to share, and there's lessons to be learnt, and it's really exciting that we want to share our knowledge with you all tonight. So really looking forward to it.
You got to realise, guys, we're coaches, and we deal with so many members of the public as well as our main members as well. And we deal with so many of their challenges, their concerns, a whole range of different things. So if we can bring them to the table to you guys, you probably might resonate with some of the stuff that, we're dealing with, and sometimes obviously, getting to the point of solving as well. So it's all a part of the big master plan, isn't it? Sharing is caring, right?
You give a lot of value. You've got two amazing property investors, experts at your fingertips. Guys, take advantage of this opportunity. We've got a subject we obviously are going to talk about tonight, but the floor is open if anyone's got any sort of burning questions. But we're here to have a chat tonight about everything that's happening in the world, because it's pretty crazy. We've got coronavirus. There's a lot of fear around people on, the world is ending. Oh my God, what's going to happen? There's a lot of Chicken Littles out there running around going, oh my God, the sky is falling. Oh, it's all doom and gloom.
End. Economy's going to crash.
The economy's going to crash. Property's never going to go up in price again. Oh my God. And there's a lot of people.
What happens if interest rates go up? What happens if they go down?
What happens if I walk across the street? And it's like, okay, wow, where do we start? Well, basically, what's happening in the world? Look, it is a crazy time, don't get me wrong. And there is, a lot of people out there with fear, and that is valid fear. So I just want to let everyone know that, you're valid to feeling the way you feel about certain things. But we've got to look at it from a logical perspective, especially when it comes to money and investing. We've got to take off our emotional hat and put our investor's hat on, right? And I've got a bit of a rundown on what's actually happened throughout the housing market with the pandemic and lockdowns.
Beautiful. Let's go into some of the real stuff and go into a bit more of the stats and things like that. So
versus what a lot of people might think is happening versus actual reality. And the fact that you've got myself and Belinda, we're coaching and we're helping anywhere from 5 to 20 members every week hold their hand step by step through a process to successfully invest in property.
Yeah.
So, what is CoreLogic saying? Well, they're saying that auction results across Sydney and Melbourne have remained resilient in lockdown, particularly circuit breaker lockdowns. So, there's lockdowns that just happen, at the drop of a hat.
Yep.
So, there's still a massive amount of auctions that are happening. But what's even more interesting is a lot of properties are actually selling before they even make it to auction, right? So, what does
We've
that
heard that before.
it means that there's massive demand, and it means that a lot of people are getting into the market and still getting properties. So that's really interesting to hear. And I had a very fascinating sort of conversation the other day with someone who was just going, oh, but what if you can't rent out an investment property? I'm going, well, why would you not be able to rent out an investment property? When would that scenario occur? And they're going, oh, well, because of COVID and everything. I'm thinking, so people don't need to live in houses because there's COVID? Like, people still going to need somewhere to live. So we're definitely, we're not going back to the caves anytime soon. We still need houses to live in. But a way to mitigate, your risks and really control that fear is to actually just make sure you're buying in an area where there's a really high demand. And that's exactly what we do with our members. So what we do is we buy in the top 100 suburbs in Australia. And, even before settlement, our members have got anywhere from 5 up to 20 applications just for the one property.
Correct.
So it's a big difference between, what people might think is happening versus the reality of what's actually happening.
Absolutely.
They're two very different things. So
CoreLogic, and keep going.
CoreLogic
I'm liking these stats,
showing that a lot of houses are even, selling before they go to auction. So they're obviously getting some strong offers coming in. Property values have remained resilient throughout lockdowns, and we've seen some strong growth as social distancing restrictions ease. So it hasn't affected the growth. Growth has actually trended upwards.
Yep, absolutely.
Stability of housing market value is likely subject to extensive government stimulus. So we've obviously got the government, which is helping out Australia as a whole, which is great. And they did that whole wage subsidy thing for a bit. We've actually come out the other end of that now, and we've still seen the same things happening with property. It's continuing to go up, despite, the government stopping the subsidies or them slowly coming to an end.
Yeah.
So overall, the housing values are going up. Everything's just going through a boom at the moment, regardless of lockdowns, regardless of any sort of instability in the market or economy. It's really fascinating. If we look at what's happened to the residential, there's been a higher demand on residential, which is pushing the residential up, because you've got people in two sort of frames of mind where they're going, okay, well, we're going through a bit of a global pandemic, and they've got fear, so they don't put their property out for sale like they maybe would have normally otherwise done. So there's less properties available. But then there's people seeing properties going up, and they're going, okay, in order for me to keep up with inflation, I've got to buy more properties, which has created this rush of people getting into the market.
That's right, absolutely.
You got more buyers, but less people actually selling, which is really like rocket fuel and creating just so much demand, which is pretty awesome if you're getting into the market and being able to do that.
Yeah. Someone just wrote in, I'm not sure if you can bring that up on your screen, Christina, but it's got Channel 9 has announced a downturn in building over the next 5 years, forecasting doom and gloom. I read that as prices will continue to go up due to supply and demand.
The Channel 7 one here. So Channel 7 announced a downturn in building over the next 5 years, forecasting doom and gloom. Look, I'm not surprised the media are out there touting doom and gloom. What's new?
Look, we've been hearing this for 10 years. I mean, they've been saying every year for 10 years that we're going to hit a crash. They even said it when COVID happened. And what happened? The market's gone up. Don't listen to the media, guys.
And that's part of that Chicken Little mentality where the media is running around going, the sky's falling.
Bad news, sensationalism, that gets people's ears pricked. That's what makes you follow the TV programs and all the different current affairs if you're in that industry.
Absolutely. So there's always going to be that. And yeah, definitely an investor's market, 100%, Nick. Couldn't agree more. Look, what people have got to understand is that whenever there is crisis, type in the chat if you know the answer, if you know the punchline to what I'm about to say. Whenever there's crisis, there's also massive what?
If anyone knows, pop it in.
There's massive opportunity.
That's right.
Whenever there's
and
a
when
crisis,
opportunity knocks, knock, knock, open the door to a new property.
Open the door. Here's the keys to your new property. That's right.
Yep.
So it's one of those things, you got to not be a sheep. You got to not follow the mass and the media and all this craziness that's going on. Usually when people are saying don't buy, that's the time you should be buying, or vice versa. So it's a counterintuitive thing. But once again, you've got to take all your emotion out of it when it comes to investing. You've really got to put on your logical investor's hat and simply sit back, look at the facts, look at the stats, look at the research, let the numbers do the talking.
Yes, absolutely. And I always say, guys, there's three things you've got to tick off. You've got to have your strategy right. You've got to have the right high growth properties, and you need to know whether there's cash flow, and you need to do all of that before you buy a property. And if you don't tick all three, don't buy the property. Simple,
That's right. Absolutely.
So it's all about doing your homework. Someone's just written in. Do you want to put that next question up, Christina?
Yeah, yep. So which one are you talking about?
Well, it's not really a question. It's more like a statement. But we can
less supply, which only leads to shortages. Yep. So less home built means less supply, which only leads to shortages. When there is a shortage, prices skyrocket. Exactly. So prices are going up at the moment. Totally.
But you've also got to be very careful of, there is a lot of areas where, look, I call them dust bowls, where you've got, massive farming land, and they've just, released all these different blocks of land. And the challenge is you've got all these thousands of people buying at the same time, and then, eventually building at the same time. And therefore, let's say only 50% of them are investors. Well, you've got a whole bunch of those people renting at the same time. What do you think happens to rents out there? It actually goes down.
Absolutely.
So, there's not less homes being built, I can tell you at the moment. Like, if anything, you go to the outskirts of a lot of the city towns in Australia, there's so many big dust bowls and estates. And that's great for first home buyers. Absolutely fantastic. Probably not as good for investors. However, that's why you've got to make sure you do your right research before you buy a property.
Oh, 100%. It all comes down to research. And at the end of the day, you never want to be investing anywhere rural or anything like a
mining towns.
You want to avoid those, like
definitely mining towns.
You want to avoid those because that's a one-horse town. And if that closes down, there goes everyone's source of income. And then it's a ghost town. You're left with nothing there. So you want to always be investing in the top 100 areas. And it's really, really safe if you're doing that. And you're going to see the right results. And look, it's not a get rich quick. So don't expect to make $1 million overnight. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
If that's what you're for, just forget it.
We've got the next person who's just made a statement. Buy low and hold. It's a real buy and hold mentality. Absolutely.
That's our strategy. That's the Markowski method.
That's the Markowski method.
Buy and hold, only sell when you absolutely have to, and only sell if you're, reinvesting that money into a higher growth property. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here giving financial advice or anything like that.
Absolutely.
I'm just talking from my own personal experiences, what I've done in my own life with my own property portfolio. Starting out, I didn't know about all this stuff. So it was a bit of a learning curve for me. But luckily I had George as a mentor to really show me how to get on the right path and create a passive income through property and do it, the proper way. And now I'm getting great returns. So,
absolutely. And And you said the key thing there as well. Look, there's a lot of people go out there and try and do it themselves. And look, some people succeed and my hat goes off to them. But a lot of the times they don't have the right strategy. And having a coach and a mentor who has got, you've got to make sure you've got a mentor that's got the, results on the board and they've had success. Very, very important because, they're the ones that are going to really help guide you. And, they've probably made a few mistakes in the past, so you can avoid a couple by, taking their advice. So it's really important.
Yeah.
There's another question that just came up, if you want to bring that one up.
Yep. So how difficult is it to get funding in these uncertain times? I've been stood down 3 times in the last 18 months. Well, you know what? I hear that a lot. That's a very common thing. The most important thing you've got to have when you invest is a thing called grit. And you get knocked down, you get back up again. Look, I've been rejected by banks. I've helped plenty of members who have been rejected by banks. It's not an uncommon thing to get rejected at all, but knowing how to get over that, not just with a strategy, but emotionally is sometimes the hardest thing. And what I see with people, first and foremost, don't take it personally. Seriously, like if you want to be
and take the emotion out of it as well. Absolutely.
Get your head right. That is the first thing you need to do, because that will be your biggest roadblock in letting that affect you and going, oh, well, I give up. I've been turned down 3 times. 3 times, that's nothing on a scale of things,
Absolutely, absolutely. And you've got to realise, guys, you're like a big Rubik's Cube and you've just got to depuzzle it. And sometimes, if you've been rejected and stood down 3 times in the last 18 months, I mean, who have you been seeing? Have you been going to see the big banks? There's thousands of lenders out there, guys. And, how do you know if you've got the best mortgage manager in their game who's a laser beam, or someone who on the side, their forte is refinancing boats and cars?
Or maybe they do like commercial properties. Like everyone's got a different
Correct.
So that brings back to finding the right circle of safety. And this is what we're particularly really good at, is matching the right broker with the right person. And look, sometimes it's a matter of you try someone out, they might not be the right fit, but the sooner you know, the better. Then you can move on and actually find the right fit. You've got to get that combination aligning and unlocking to get all the pieces of the puzzle to get your loan. And it's not easy, and it will take effort. If investing in property were easy, everyone would be doing it. The world would be full of property millionaires. There is a certain percentage, but only a small percentage, because those people had grit and they were willing to do what the unsuccessful people weren't willing to do.
Absolutely, 100%. So, no, that's great. And someone's just written in there, buy on the rise and hold. So, yeah, thank you very much for confirming exactly what we were saying before.
Preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, preaching to the converted. Thank you, whoever. Hopefully they're one of our members. Absolutely. So, yeah, it is a very buy and hold mentality. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme at all. But it's a slow and steady that always wins the race. And if you do it properly, you want to do it properly first time round. So, it's having that system, that strategy, as well as all those little key points ticked off. That's what you want to do. And guess what? If you haven't got it, don't pass go. Do not collect 200. It's just like Monopoly, guys.
We're playing Monopoly in real life. This is exactly what we're
Monopoly
doing.
In real life.
And guess who always wins Monopoly, Belinda? The person with the most properties, right?
That's right. Exactly. You've got it. It's really important. You got it. Last, just put that next. We've got, I think, another little one that's just come through.
The last thing a bank will do is, what's that word?
Lies
with the common person.
Keep it all. Look, at the end of the day, the banks aren't there to be your best mate.
Was that spelled correctly, Nick?
Polarized. Something like that. Anyway, look, at the end of the day, banks aren't there to be your friend. Banks aren't there.
I've seen, as a common recurring theme is, in general, and not always, because this is a generalization, but what I've seen in my own, like getting properties in my own portfolio, is the big banks like CBA, ANZ, tend to not really like investors, because what we want to do is we want to get interest only with an offset account, and we want to go variable.
We want flexibility to do what we want to do. Because if you make a lot of money out of that property, you want to be able to pull it out at a later stage and keep working with that money. So you want that flexibility. And a lot of those big banks, they just want to lock you in a 30-year loan and say, see you later, and get all your interest, over $250,000 of interest over the course of a, 30-year loan.
Yeah. And what's even funnier to me is I see like the people that work for the bank, they try and convince people. They go, oh, you can get you a really good interest rate if you lock in for 3 years. And I'm going, locking in, never a fan. I don't like locking in, because then you are committed to that one thing, and you're obviously, they're going to make their money for the next 3 years, and you're going to have to pay break fees if you want to get your own money. How crazy is that?
Yes. Absolutely. And, don't get too taken, by low interest rates, because when George was starting out as an investor, I mean, he was buying properties for 18%. Now we're seeing them as low as, 2.7. Who cares about the interest rate? What it comes down to is how much cash is involved in that property at the end of the day. How much cash is in your hand? That's what you've got to look at, and it's very easy to get kind of dazzled by the banks with their low interest. But if it doesn't give you the flexibility, absolutely not. You got to move on.
Yeah, totally agree. You got to make sure that you're actually thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. And when you start getting in that mindset, you start to see through all the BS and all the shiny, low interest rate that whatever from the Commonwealth can get you, and you're like, okay, but if I do that, then I'm not going to be able to get my 2nd, 3rd, 4th property. So you've got to think about things a little bit differently. You've got to go back to the fundamentals of what actually matters. And like Belinda said, just always having a cash flow calculator and seeing the actual numbers. And you'd be surprised if you put in a worst case scenario interest rate, what a property and the numbers might actually look like, So I've done cash flow calculators on interest rates as high as 4%, and they've still been breaking even from day one. And then
Absolutely.
I've had that's 3.5%, and they've been positive almost $50 a week from day one. And then I've done ones at 2.5%, and they might be positive $80. Anything
Correct.
where you're breaking even, or even if you're slightly having to pay something for the first year, like having to pay up to $30 in holding costs, that's nothing compared to what the property is going to make you long term. And it's slow and steady.
Absolutely.
So don't get caught up on shiny objects or the wrong thing when it comes to investing. Stay focused on what actually matters, and you'll realize what the real difference is. So
excellent. Absolutely.
A good one you taught me is you have equity in one bank you don't need. To stick it with the bank for your next purchase, another lender can use that equity from that bank. Yeah, absolutely. Start leveraging. So getting your equity, taking it out, buying properties. Okay, so we've got from, this must be a member, I did the cash flow calculator training. I don't fully understand some parts. How do I get help? If you're a member, just feel free to book in with your coach. I'm actually, when I've got a bit of spare time, I'm going to redo a full training on the cash flow calculator and really step it out, because we need to really get educated when it comes to this sort of thing. And the cash flow calculator is just such a powerful tool when it comes to understanding the numbers, understanding if you were to get $10 less for the rent per week, what outcome would it actually mean for your property?
Yeah, you need to look at all the variables. And, you need to be able to look at a cash flow calculator and tweak little things and play around with it. So it's really important to know those figures up front. Absolutely. So look, if you are a member, book in with your coach so you can book a little one-on-one. If you're not a member, I'm just trying to think, are we going to be able to do, what can we do with there, Christina?
So if it's the 14-day challenge, you'll have to stay tuned for my version of the training, because I'm going to see if I can outdo George with my cash flow calculator.
Haha, love it. Love it, love it.
Bit of healthy competition here. Yeah. So guys, it's really about understanding what matters when it comes to investing, but also, most importantly, before you even look at any properties, if you've got fear, you really need to work on your own mindset. And the best way to do that is to surround yourself with positive people who are on the same journey in life as you. Like, for example, you guys, you're part of our community. So we come on here, we connect with you guys. I love answering your questions. I love, just talking to you guys. I really look forward to it. So if you've ever got any, sort of the wrong mentality, just getting with people who are positive can make all the difference to your mindset and to your emotional
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I was talking about this. I was on a radio station recently and we were just talking about tips in regards to that. And I said, surround yourself with people, your 5 people that you surround yourself are you're most influenced by, so you want to make sure that you choose your friends wisely. Because if you're, trying to do things and being positive, but you're, constantly getting kind of put down by a friend because of their attitude, maybe you might want to hang out with them a little bit less, and maybe go around people that are more in your mindset and what you want to do and same kind of goals driven, similar goals. Absolutely. So
Yeah,
just be
yeah.
very aware.
Look, your friendship circle may change now that you're going to the next level in your life and you're doing this amazing stuff, because look, not everyone gets it. Seriously, not everyone gets it. And that's okay. They don't have to. They're choosing their life, but we decided that we wanted more. We decided we didn't want to do the 9 to 5 grind. We decided we wanted to have a life by design, have our time back as our own. It's not just about the money that the properties give you. It's actually, for me personally, it's about the lifestyle. They give me the ability to have an amazing lifestyle and to have time to spend with my friends and people that I love and family. Because without that, without having the time to build those deep and meaningful relationships, what have we got? I don't care about, sure, you can buy all this materialistic stuff. You can buy a brand new car. You can buy a speedboat, whatever it is that you want. Once you've earned the right and once you've got the passive income, but you'll realize once you get to that level and you've had that materialistic stuff, what really matters in life, spending time with friends and family, spending time with kids, that's way more important than whatever materialistic possession your rental income can give you.
Absolutely. You won't remember those things like those little interest rates going up or putting up that little bit of rent to make you that bit more passive income. But I do remember catching a boat, being on a boat in a yacht in the Whitsundays and watching George catch a big, what was it called? A batfish.
Batfish, yes, absolutely. And we were just talking earlier today, and Belinda, you're looking at coming down to Adelaide for a little trip.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to come down and spend some time with you guys. I miss you. I've obviously been in Queensland. Melbourne's in lockdown, so I'm thinking, well, instead of going back into lockdown Melbourne, I might just have to veer in and spend some time with my lovely Adelaide family, which is you guys. So bring it on.
We'll
Absolutely.
Beautiful dinners here in Adelaide. And
bring it on.
I don't want to make anyone jealous if you're in a state that's in lockdown.
And we will. So we need to let's move on. There's another question that just came in. It says, any tips on how to negate a great property price? Have you got that one? Do you want to bring them?
Tips on how
negotiate
a great price on a property. Look, negotiating in this sort of a market can be tricky, but if you're a member, the beautiful part is you're part of a buyer's group.
That's right.
So George does the negotiating, and sometimes we're able to get the prices the properties were sold at, possibly 6 to 12 months ago, which, I've seen members have anywhere from $5,000 up to $65,000 instant equity upon settlement because they got it at the price. So if you are not confident in personally negotiating a better price, maybe get someone who is better at it than you, like George, to do the heavy lifting and do that. Because that's what I do. I'm like, George, yep, I buy where
Yeah.
you buy. I'm buying where my members are buying. Just get me the property for the original price, and then
Yep.
awesome.
Bring it on. Absolutely.
So
Next one.
let's look at this one. So I found that by surrounding myself with those I aspire to be, the more I was able to become what I was wanting to become. It's so important to project your mindset. Oh, look, 100%. Look, the most
It's only got
important
Facebook reader, but whoever it is, I hope you're one of our members because that's lovely. We love that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that we really enjoy
And
seeing.
it's really funny, Belinda. The biggest thing I always see holding people back isn't how much money they've got in their bank account, isn't how much equity they've got, isn't how much income they're earning. It's the number one thing I see holding people back from becoming successful property investors. Guess what it is?
Mindset.
Mindset. It's their mindset.
Mindset.
Which is crazy to me. I'm going, oh my God, you're making $250,000 a year. You've got over, $700,000 of equity sitting there doing nothing.
Oh,
Like
look,
the
I've met,
potential.
I've met some, I've met some miserable wealthy people.
Mm,
Miserable wealthy people cheating on each other's, husbands and wife cheating on each other, not really happy. Money's not everything, guys. It really isn't. But the whole idea is if you get out there and enjoy yourself and have your really strong values, that when that money brings in and you can put it in the right way, well, that's what's going to give you happiness. Money doesn't buy you happiness. It helps because we don't want to not pay our bills, of course.
yeah.
But the reality is if we kind of earn it as well and we're on a journey, it is the journey, not the destination. So you got to enjoy yourself as you're doing it. And I think that's why we're both property investors because I have so much fun doing it and the results you get. And it's not just that, it's, being coached by George, the community that we've got, the people I've met. Charmaine is one of my close friends. She became a member. Now she's a part of our team, and that's all been surrounded by, property. So, it's fantastic. Absolutely. We've
Yeah.
got another one here that comes through. If you purchase an investment property, have you got the one?
Yep. Just putting it up now. If you've purchased an investment property in an area which hasn't yet boomed, does it hurt your equity? I really need to get more information because I don't know.
Yeah, that's
I
very
don't know where the suburb is. I don't know if it's in a rural where you've purchased.
kind of mining town.
There's so many variables, so unfortunately, I can't answer that question to the best of my ability because I don't have all the information.
Absolutely.
And when did you purchase? Like if you've just purchased it, typically bank valuations are anywhere between 6 to 12 months behind the actual market and what it's doing. So if you've just purchased a property, I wouldn't be too concerned if it's in the right area. Once again, I don't know that. So I would say reach out to our team and look at booking in for a one-on-one with a coach to get that
Yeah,
specific.
do it.
Said.
You need to book in for a one-on-one strategy session. So
And
what can we call that?
If anyone from our team is watching, just put hashtag strategy for if you'd like to book in for a one-on-one, and the people from our team will go through the comments and send you a link to book in for your one-on-one session with a property coach.
See, you've already got a plan of action. Gotta love it. Absolutely.
That's right. Hey, we're not here to muck around. We're here to help you guys. So
That's right. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. All right, we've got another little question that's come up there. Someone's just written mindset. Yep, beautiful, Sash. Love the way you work.
What if the capital of the property does not increase as fast enough rate for you to accumulate your portfolio? Once again, similar question to the one before. I don't know where your properties are. I don't know what the suburb is. For me to really answer that properly, I need all the facts in front of me to understand what's happening. So just put hashtag strategy and we'll get our property coaches to reach out for you and get you booked in for a one-on-one session.
Absolutely. And if you do get that one-on-one session booked, come with all your questions. It's really important that you utilize and take advantage of that session with a professional coach who's
Oh,
also an investor.
hi, Scott
Absolutely.
here. This is one of our beautiful members that we've got a part of our community. Hey, freedom fighter.
Hey,
Thanks.
hello, hello. Amazing.
Awesome. Well, it's been a really good session tonight, Belinda. I've really had a lot of fun
Yeah,
connecting, and
absolutely.
I'm really excited that you're coming to Adelaide. I've
Yep,
got a
I'm
few
going to be there.
really cool restaurants in mind.
Thank you very much. You
Talking
know
about
me
the
too well.
lifestyle that property can provide you with, we're going to lead
Yeah,
by example here, and I'm going to book in possibly
absolutely.
a little degustation.
Oh, lovely. I love the way you think. That's awesome. Bring it on. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Awesome, guys.
So, well, look, we're nearly at the end, but let's just kind of recap. What was, we're talking about, you know, the Chicken Little vibe, all
Yeah,
right? Not getting caught up
yeah.
in
So not
sometimes the media hype.
yeah, not buying into that media hype. It's really important
And
to
not just media hype, guys. It can be your next door neighbours. Look,
your
when I
hairdresser.
started, your hairdresser, you know, your next door neighbours. Hey, look, I know when I first started investing in property, and we did a whole session on this. It's called naysayers. You
Yes.
know, now look, deep down, I know that they cared for me and they wanted the best, but they weren't actually, they couldn't lead by example, and they weren't actually doing it themselves. So they
Yeah.
were trying to protect me, but it wasn't coming across that way. It was just I was getting a lot of negativity because I wanted to invest and better myself.
Mm.
So, whether it's media hype or, family members or, next door neighbors going, no, you shouldn't invest in property. The economy is going to crash. You need to get your facts. You
And to
really
them
need to get your facts.
saying, well, where are you planning on living? You've got a house. Are you suddenly selling your house and, deciding to live in a tent or something? Like, what's going on there? So it's really crazy. There's some interesting theories out there. But look, understanding the reality of what's happening and what's actually coming out of the whole COVID situation is really important.
Absolutely.
And it's just the same old, Long term property's just going to keep going up. So slow and steady. Don't expect miracles overnight. Slow and steady wins the race. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep following the strategy, and you'll get the right results.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you try the first time you don't succeed, we'll try again. We've heard it over and over.
So
Doesn't
we'll
have to be property, it can be a lot of different things, but you can
getting the
apply it
right
to anything.
team. We talked about circle of safety. That's obviously really important. Getting the right team, not only a support group for your mental health, like mentally being positive and having the right attitude towards this, but also realizing that you get knocked down, you get back up again. And it's really important to stay the course. And if a broker or a bank isn't exactly the right fit, just change and get with someone that can make it happen for you and help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely.
So,
Bring on this next one that just came in. We've just had it says Facebook user.
so I have a friend that is pretty successful with shares, but the one thing he said to me that has stuck is do the opposite of what the masses tell you. Yeah, absolutely. And we were saying, earlier in the session today, whenever people are saying don't buy, that's a good time to buy, and vice versa. So doing
Correct.
the opposite of what that herd mentality is doing. So yeah, I mean, look, same thing applies for property, obviously, and wherever there's a crisis, there's massive opportunity, and we're seeing so many opportunities. So many good areas that we're currently investing in that are undervalued, like massively
Absolutely.
undervalued.
Look, you can watch the news, it's all doom and gloom, but can I tell you, we're dealing with members every day, every week, and we're seeing their portfolios go through the roof. We're seeing it firsthand. There's no doom and gloom there, that's for sure.
There's
And
only
then
positive property. It's all positive.
it's all positive, all the way positive.
That's right. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, Belinda, we've got to get ready for our session with our members. So
Yes,
for members
we're going to
joining,
go live and loud. with
We've
our
got our
lovely
weekend
members.
shirt. Yes, can't wait to see you there, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honour. Very grateful that you're all here. You're a part of this amazing journey that we call life that we're doing together. And
Our freedom fighters.
absolutely, guys. Once again, if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. If you're watching live, hashtag live. And anyone who would love a one-on-one call, put hashtag strategy, and our beautiful team will reach out and get you connected, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.
And remember, we're here every Thursday night, same bat time, bat channel. Next time, maybe George. Have your questions ready, because he's here to help you out as well. All right. Have a great night, guys.
See you later.
Thank you for listening. I'm grateful for all our listeners around the world. If you found this podcast valuable, please share with someone that might find this useful, and please join our tribe of purpose-driven investors, increasing income and impact in our Facebook group, Positive Property. Please note, with a multi-million-dollar property portfolio and a passive income, I've become incredibly successful in investing in property. The fact of it is, however, many people may find investing in property challenging. It's not easy, and it takes a lot of hard work. However, becoming educated to make an informed decision and having the right advisors gives you the tools you need to succeed. The most important part of this formula, however, is to actually take action and apply that knowledge. It is important to understand the information I share is of a general nature only and is not taking into account your unique circumstances. If you're considering investing in any asset class, you need to seek the advice of an independent professional advisor who will be able to look at your specific situation. Be sure your advisor has actually achieved the kind of results you're seeking. Many won't have, so beware. We've taken great care putting those educational resources together. We'd be surprised if you didn't find any errors or omissions. If you do, our legal team says we have to say we're not responsible for those. In fact, as with all things, even your success, we're not responsible. That responsibility always has and always will come down to you and the actions you take. We're passionate about supporting you in that process and helping you increase your ability to create wealth, live the life you desire, and provide all the things you dream of for you and your family.